Hi guys, welcome to Foundry version 035, and we're only showcasing the vanilla version here, no mods active. The big thing here is we've added in drawing. Atropos and Kaka have done a great job of this. So we're going to start off with some vector drawing. Vector drawing places points as you go, and you can place as many or as few as you want. And when you double click, it saves where that is. But of course you can always right click to get rid of it, like I showed that first time. You can also draw ellipses, circle-ish things. Let's say we wanted a different color. Maybe we wanted a golden cage, where we could come over here and select a color of the line. And maybe we want it to be a little bit bigger. So let's bump the width up to 12. Now we can have a nice bronze cage. And noticing that they're stacking up here. So if we wanted to stack them in a particular order, like let's move this gold box to the back, let's go over to our select tool and select them. And you only have to get more than half to bring them into the selection config. And then when you right click, it gives you these options. And we can just send this backwards until it's as far back as we want it. Or bring it forwards. So same with these other ones. So like let's bring this all the way to the top, and now we have this line over top of that line, over top of that line. And of course we can fill these with things. So if we wanted to have it be fill type solid or pattern, you can add in texture to there. Lots and lots of options. Let's actually try and make something here. I'm going to use the freehand tool and switch to just a plain black. With no fill. The freehand tool is going to allow me to just kind of draw and wiggle and scheme. Going to get some rather odd figures in here, and that's okay. And it's converting all of this to vectors to make it nice and smooth and easy to transmit back and forth to your players. Unlike Fantasy Grounds that uses pixels, and I think much more elegantly than a lot of the other places. We now have our cavern. Let's say back in here, we're actually going to go with that cage idea. But we want the cage to be a different color. Let's make that kind of an ironish color. And we drew that here. And now it is time for us to apply walls. Also one of the places that Fantasy Grounds is strongest. I'm not going to do the whole cave because that'd take a while. Set walls. I started off the map and it doesn't like that. And of course you could use all of these drawing tools on top of a map image you already have to add a secret chamber here or other stuff as you see fit. Noticing I'm using opaque walls here that the players won't be able to see through. Normally I would use terrain walls the players can see through one but not two of. But that just allows you to show off the pretty map. Here we don't have a pretty map, so I'm going to limit their sight a bit more so they can't say, oh, I can't see over there must be something cool, and head that direction. And there's fun tricks that you can do to mess with your players when using terrain walls, like adding lines halfway between things and other fun stuff that still lets them see the whole map, but it doesn't let them guess based off of a mission on what they can't see. So you can see that even though this is a pretty large cave, we're already about halfway done. It doesn't take that long to apply walls. And I should have been this whole time placing the walls always slightly outside. That way they can always see that wall. . Oops. But you learn as you go. and you remember those small tricks for your own game. We'll see why that's important when we switch to a player view here in just a minute. So like with this box, I want the players to be able to see through it but not walk through it. So what I'm going to do there is do an invisible wall. And that's going to be this one here. So players will be able to see but not move through it, which is perfect. We'll just fix that point up a little. Okay, and that's a good enough cave for you to get the general idea as we come in. And you see as we're walking around with the new character why I should have done all of those so that they're always showing the lines. So we're going to make a new actor. Here we have a test one, and let's give them vision. Check the vision box. I'm going to give them a dark vision of 60 for dim and 40 for bright, which is what I really like as a combo, but game masters can do that each their own way. And of course you have these boxes down here for you to give out light sources, like if they're carrying a torch or something like that. So normally, for a player, it's going to be this blackness everywhere. It's like when we come down here, you see they actually won't be able to see some of these walls because I got too close there. Such an amateur move I made. So I get for focusing on talking to you guys instead of doing a good job. It's like here, I'd want to move all of this over just a little bit so they can see that wall there. Down they come. I'm just using the arrow keys to navigate, and that's going to allow us to see that when we come over here, we cannot walk through that. As the game master, I can override it by dragging. If a player were to do that, they'd get an error message. And once drug into the cage, they can't use their arrow keys to get out of it, and if they try and drag themselves out of it, they get an error message saying they're not allowed to drag over. But of course, as game masters, we need the power to override that. Cool. So that's drawing in a nutshell. And that explains most of the features. Now, a couple pro tips. If you want to make something very pretty and very precise, so like let's say we wanted to do some bats. What we can do is we can make it huge. And let's change our color. Let's make bats black. What we're going to do is we're going to make it huge in exactly the way we want it because it's easy to do huge. And then we're going to shrink it down, which Foundry makes really easy for us to do. So I'm actually going to zoom out a bit more. Oh, and I right clicked because I'm used to right clicking to end, but Foundry uses a double left click. Bit different than what I'm used to, but I'm sure I'll adjust. I'm making this video about a half hour after I download the update, so it's not like I've been practicing with this new feature for a long time. And as always, I really dislike this box that messes up your drawing. But we do have this button up here if it lets me. Yes. To shrink it down out of the way. Go Atropos. Thank you for adding that. Now double click to end that. Use our box select. Remember, we only have to get half of it. And then we have a button down here that allows us to shrink this down until we have the bat we want. So that's now looking like a very nice bat or board or whatever you want to call it. And I can always Control C and paste lots of them. Once you have them pasted, you can always box them and make them slightly different sizes. So there's a lot of features here. I can even flip them around the other way. There's a lot of features here that I'm really happy with. Atropos did a great job of this. And this is most of this update, but it's not all of it. So let's take a look at some of the other things he's added. If we come over to the compendium and we look into monsters, we would now notice there's some additional ones that have images going along with them. So like the bandit is a CL-18. All of these 1/8s are now done and customized, so we can just click on the scimitar attack and it goes to, oh, you can import it, click on the scimitar attack and it goes to the chat, all ready to be used, coded with these beautiful images and great bios, done by Forgotten Adventures and Penelope. Great job, wonderful, wonderful artwork. The other thing that is new here, we now have these sheet selection options. In the vanilla version, this isn't going to do anything for you. But once we start getting into mods, this is an easy way for us to expose some hidden fields. Like my system uses a ton of hidden fields that then in custom sorters allow you to have monsters sorted by terrain, allow you to have items sorted by type, subtype, bunch of different properties. This would be an easy way for me to expose that so you can make your own stuff that can be viewed in the browsers and have it all be nice and compatible. So those are the major updates and changes here. Oh, one last thing. The combat tracker has received a small facelift. So if we have a bunch of guys down here fighting away, and let's say they're all in the combat tracker, and 2 of them are dead. Now, when we're going through the order, I guess that's not working. It's supposed to skip over the dead ones, but that must still be on its way. I know Atropos is working on that. He must just not have quite gotten onto this update. Well, thank you guys for watching. God bless you all and have a great day. Bye.